Okay, so in Camera Raw, I'm going to show you the zoom, the panning tool, the preview, and the histogram to help you start to orientate yourself within your image and find better solutions to editing. So the first thing you want to do is when you're navigating through your image, you can use these tools, the zoom tool as well as the hand tool. With the zoom tool, you can just simply click and drag to get into closer detail or proximity of images that you want. You can also then use the space bar to use the panning tool to move in closer. If you want to get back to 100% of seeing your image, you can double click on the hand tool to get back to that. Also, if you are in the hand tool and you press the command key, you can also then get the zoom tool and then zoom in that way. You can also then double click on the zoom tool to get to 100% view. This is the best viewing vantage point when you're working with sharpening details within your image. You also have the drop down menu here to get into various percentages plus the plus and minus option located here. So I'm going to double click on the hand tool to get to 100% viewing of my image. So that's the navigation tools there. The histogram is basically a distribution of all of your tonal values that you can actually see from your red, green, and blue channels. You can see each of those channels identified in those colors that are used. The color in white is basically a distribution of all of the colors combined. The top sections here show what's called clipping, or a loss of detail. The left-hand side is your shadow or blacks. Your right-hand side is your highlights or your whites. If you click on each of these two areas here, that shows the clipping warning dialog. So if you start to edit your image and maybe bringing these highlights up, you'll start to see the lights occur here that indicates a loss of detail, and you'll see that color red in your picture to show that the whites or the highlights in your picture are loss of detail. So that helps you to bring back some of that detail. Same thing goes for your shadows or your black areas. That shows in blue, so you want to make adjustments towards that to retain the details in that way. As you're navigating and maneuvering through editing your picture, you have this preview button, so continuously look before and after to see how your changes affect the overall image when you're working in that way. So the zoom, panning, preview, and histogram.